Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, where we look at ourselves and our world through the lens of the 21st century. Hi, and welcome back to Modern Musings. I'm your hostess, Cindy Murray, and I'm here today with my co-host, Kristen Murray Hessler. Ooh, I still do that. Dang. And Amber Garvin.
Hello.
Hey.
And happy Star Wars Day. Today is May the 4th. May the Force be with you. And we are talking all about Star Wars, but not just Star Wars, also Star Trek. Because today's episode is Star Wars versus Star Trek. Are you a Trekkie? Or what is a Star Wars person? I'm going to stop right there.
So I like that, though. You're like, wait a minute.
What?
You can be a Trekkie, but what are you if you're a Star Wars fan?
Yeah. So the question today is, are you a Trekkie or are you into Star Wars? I don't even know what Star Wars fans call themselves. But maybe they're just believers of the Force. I don't know. But we're talking about that today and kind of why you would be one or the other, because a lot of people do have a preference and they're very vehement about those preferences. I personally grew up watching Star Trek. When I was a kid, my mother was a huge fan of Star Trek, and that show was airing live for the first time when I was a baby and very young child. And my mother loved that show, and it was always in syndication somewhere. So we watched it in my household over and over and over and over again. So, I probably could have recited line for line some of those episodes when I was a kid. And I remember growing up and wanting to be Yeoman Rand or Captain Kirk. Back in a time when women were not part of the space program, and it just really inspired a love for space and technology for me. Now, later when I was in my early teens, the Star Wars series came out, and I remember standing in line to watch the first Star Wars episode 4, and I loved that movie and was hooked on that series from that point on. But I never really thought about, did I like one more than the other or anything like that. I loved them both equally. But I know a lot of people are very much, this one is better than that one, or I like this one, whatever. So that's kind of my question today for you guys. And we'll start off with Kristen and Amber. Which one of you would like to step in and say what you like? Amber.
Okay, well, I always call myself an equal opportunity nerd in a sense that I like both. But I want to say, stemming back to my childhood, I was probably exposed to Star Wars more. I remember dressing up as Princess Leia one year for Halloween.
Aww. And
I also had a cat when I was younger. Her name was Princess. I named her after Princess Leia. And one of my cats that I currently have, his name is Chewie, named after Chewbacca. Also in the fact that when I picked him up for the first time, he bit my finger so hard. But, yeah, I would say that I am more of a Star Wars fan. And I remember when Episode 1 came out, and it was the first movie kind of its kind using so much CGI, and I remember seeing that in the theater probably 5 times. I was obsessed with it, and looking back on it, I can barely watch it now with the way that movies have evolved. Because it's just so, the CGI and the effects and just the movie in general, like episode 1, 2, and 3, they're very cheesy to me with the whole love story.
a lot of people think that one is pretty cheesy, too, because they tried to appeal to kids and the whole
they
Jar
really
Jar
did, yeah.
Binks thing,
He said Jar Jar Binks.
Well,
Yeah.
and I have always contended that George Lucas always had a bit of humor in all of
And
the
there
Star
was
Wars.
always a cute character.
There was always
yeah,
a
there
cute
was
and fun
always a
character. I mean,
little
R2D2
kiddish
was
character.
the cute character.
Yeah.
And his interactions with C-3PO and
The Ewoks.
interactions with the people don't like the Ewoks either for that same
Well,
reason.
yeah, I mean, like they're the cute character, and I know I was talking with my boyfriend the other day because I have a stuffed porg, and I forgot which movie that was from. But it's like the little bird things on the planet where Luke was hiding.
Oh, that's one of the more recent ones.
Yeah, one of the more
yeah.
recent ones. Yeah, and I thought, and it's like an ugly thing, but when I saw the movie, I thought that was the cutest thing in the world. And he's like, "Why do you have that?" And I'm like, "Well, why do people like Baby Yoda? I think that it's cute."
Yeah. There's always something cute in.
There's
in
always
the
and
Star
there's
Wars.
always something
That's-
humorous.
Yeah.
I don't want to give a whole bunch of things away, but if you're a Star Wars fan, you've probably been watching The Mandalorian or whatever, and the episodes where Grogu's eating the frog, eggs. And it's bad, but it's you snicker through the whole thing. So there is a lot of humor in all of Star Wars, always. So I guess that to me kind of makes the Jar Jar Binks or the cute creatures or whatever irrelevant.
So we were talking about like where we picked up like our interest for Star Wars and Star Trek. For me, like, Mom, you grew up watching Star Trek in the house, and then when you got older, you had the ability to go see Star Wars. For me, VHS was around when I was growing up, and when I went to Grandma's house, we watched Star Wars over and over and over again. And I remember being at home, though, and Star Trek Next Generation was on the TV.
Yes.
So I remember watching that at home and then Star Wars at Grandma's house. So I got a little bit of both. I remember also growing up watching probably a less known Star Wars movie that's not part of the chronological order of movies that get released in the theater that everyone is really well known and loved. But Star Wars Ewok Adventure, the Caravan of Courage, and the Battle for Endor, I really loved those. You're talking about cute characters. I love the Ewoks. They're just funny, weird-looking creatures, and I've always loved them.
They're cute in the movies also.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
just
cute in the
general,
movies,
like
and they have their own little personality, and I've always just had a soft spot
She
for
has
the
a
cute
dog
characters.
that looks like one.
Yeah, my little Shih Tzu kind of looks like an Ewok too, so that's probably why I like those dogs. But so for me, I grew up watching both. I have a love for both in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Star Trek obviously is more technology influence, whereas Star Wars, you have this
More
epic
fantasy,
novel.
like
And fantasy,
space
more
opera.
high fantasy. Yeah.
high fantasy
So-
space opera.
One of the things that was an argument for me, because this question has been kind of floating around on the internet.
Oh,
and
it's
stuff
been around for decades.
Before recent developments, there weren't Star Wars TV shows or miniseries or anything like that. It was
Yeah, that-
just
now-
a bunch
now
of
every-
movies.
Since Disney took
It
over.
was
Yeah,
just a
since-
bunch of movies, and
yeah.
my argument was that I like Star Trek better because there were episodes. There was a lot more content, and the characters, in my opinion, were a lot more developed because they had more time to develop the characters, develop their storylines, and the time span, in my opinion, was longer.
Right.
story
Yeah, you
plot
can't really
was longer.
develop characters in like
But-
a 2-hour movie.
But now we have
3-hour movie, whatever.
right. But now we have Star Wars, Lucasfilms and Disney really making these like
the
TV shows.
Boba Fett
Miniseries.
and the
Yes,
and
yes.
the Clone Wars
And
the,
I like the kind of insight into that with the TV shows and stuff like that.
And they're expanding on their timeline too.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
it's,
definitely. Well, my thing when you're talking about the difference between two, and you pointed out one of the things that I thought of, the Star Trek was always based on science. There was a lot of science in it. And then there was also a social consciousness to Star Trek. It tackled a lot of social issues of the
it
time.
was very innovative.
It,
Yes.
it really was. You know, Uhura was the first black, on white
Female.
interracial kiss on
Yeah.
television, and she was a female in an officer position, a black female in an officer position, and the mixed racial status of their crew was very big and important, and they always focused on the similarities rather than the differences. That was,
They're forward moving.
it was, and how we're, as humans, we're evolving to accept everything. And a lot of those social issues that are tackled in those, even the earliest episodes, are things that we still deal with today, in different ways sometimes, but sometimes in the same way. We're still struggling with those same social issues. And I always like that because even when it got into like the Next Generation, and there were episodes where they dealt with sexual identity amongst the races, and hierarchical societies and different things like that. And it really was a pivotal series and continues to be so. I haven't seen all of the newer stuff, obviously. I left off somewhere around in the middle of Enterprise when our local broadcasters started playing around with what time of day it, when it would air and things like that. And then it just kind of dropped off the face of the earth and we never saw it again. And, there's the new stuff that's being put out by Paramount is, subscribe to View, and I'm not paying for that right now. I'm just still, and I haven't seen all the Star Wars either. There's a lot of stuff like the Clone Wars and stuff like that I have not watched. So I don't pretend to be an expert on any of them, but I love all of them. But by contrast, where it was all about the technology and the social issues, you look at the Star Wars, and to me, it's always been about the balance between good and evil.
Political issues.
Yeah.
It does
a lot
have
of
Lots of
political
political
issues.
issues.
And it's also from a metaphysical standpoint,
Yes.
because they talk about the metachlorians that are the life force,
The
in,
force
in
surrounding
everyone,
us, yeah.
and being able to use your life force to change the world around you
Yeah.
in different ways, and how people of small minds are easy to control, and things like that. And so those are also very powerful messages. But I think a lot of times the people who are purely science minded,
Logic.
Logic-
It's very left brain, right brain. If
it,
you
yeah,
want
it
to
is,
put
it
that.
is. And
Science.
so the people who are drawn towards that logic, the left, I can't remember which
Yeah,
is
left brain.
Yes,
Star
Yeah.
Trek.
Star
right
Trek,
brain, Star
tot-
Wars.
and then there are people who are drawn towards the metaphysical, and a lot of times those don't meet. They just happen to meet in me because I love science, but I also feel like there's some metaphysical truths that
Yeah.
exist, and that the existence of one does not negate the existence of the other. And I know that's a little philosophical for a discussion about Star Wars, but I think that's really the main difference between the two of them, and I think that's why people are often divided between the two. It goes back to that show, that movie, M. Night Shyamalan's Signs, and there's people who see it as
A sci-fi movie.
a sci-fi movie, and there's
then
people who see it as a metaphysical movie. Either you're a person who believes in signs or you're not. And people who believes in signs saw that movie and felt it was very profound. And the people who only see that logical side and thought it was only a sci-fi movie
Thought it was lame.
thought it was really lame. Yeah. So
Well-
I think that's a lot of the difference there.
M. Night Shyamalan he's on so many levels, but that's another discussion for another time.
Oh, yeah. We may
I
have to-
could
we
talk
may have to
forever
do-
about his movies.
We
like
may
my
have to do a
favorite
whole
director.
episode of,
Yeah.
of his movies because they are phenomenal. I love the many layers of that. But back to the Star Wars and Star Trek theme. In honor of the two shows, and we're going to play a little game. So I invite you to grab a pen or pencil, and we're going to play a little challenge here. And what I'm going to do is I have collected a lot of movie quotes or TV quotes, as the case may be. And I'm going to give the quote, and I want you to decide. And you readers or listeners, sorry, I didn't mean to call you readers. You're listening, probably.
Hopefully you're reading the
Well,
blog. too.
maybe you're reading the blog too, but
Readers
or
slash
maybe you're
listeners.
reading the subtitles on this. I'm not sure, but hopefully you'll play along too and see how you do. But I'm going to read a quote, and then I want you to decide if you think it is a Star Wars quote or a Star Trek quote. And then I'm going to tell the answer, and you get a point for Star Wars or a point for Star Trek if you get it right.
So do I need to have like 2 columns?
That's probably the easiest way, is to put a point in Star Wars if it was a Star Wars quote and a point in Star Trek if it was Star Trek. That's probably the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to start out. Let me see. I'm going to give some easy ones to start with, and then we'll get progressively
So do you
harder.
want us to call it out if we think it's Star Wars or Star Trek, or just put it in the column?
I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you want to just blurt it out?
Yeah, we can blurt it out that way.
Blurt
you
it out
guys
really
can
fast.
laugh at us if
Okay.
we're wrong.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay, so here's the first one. I hope this one is obvious for those of you who know it. I have been and always shall be your friend.
Star Wars.
Kristen?
I know the answer to that one because I didn't know the answer yesterday, and I got thumped on the head because I didn't know the answer to that. So
Am I wrong?
You
Yes,
are wrong.
you're
wrong.
That
Star Trek.
That was Mr. Spock in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Okay, let's see. Here's another one. I'm a doctor, not an engineer.
Oh, that's Star Trek.
right. I'm like, there aren't even any of those type of characters that I could think of in Star Wars.
I'm trying to. Okay, here's one that's obvious too. Laugh it up, fuzzball.
No, that's Star Wars.
Can't you just hear Harrison Ford saying that?
Yeah.
Make it so.
That's Star Trek. That's Captain Picard.
That was somebody texting my phone. Okay. Resistance is futile.
That's easy. Do you know which one that one's from, Amber?
Star Wars. No, it's Star Trek. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm apparently not as familiar with Star Trek.
You are the quote queen, though. You know all the one-liners of movies, so that's okay, though.
Okay, I'm gonna go into some harder ones because these are some that are some really great ones, I think. So, let's see. Live now, make now always the most precious time. Now will never come again. I saw this one and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to add that one to my one little word quotes because my word for this year is now. And I didn't find that one when I was looking.
Star Trek.
Good guess. That was a good guess. That was Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Baby needs a new pair of shoes.
Why does that sound like something that...
Oh, Star Wars.
Yeah.
No.
No?
That was Commander Data.
I want to say that quote
What?
was. I want to say that quote was in Star Wars at some point.
No.
Oh.
It was in
Did
episode
he say
1.
that in one of the things where he was acting in a holodeck or something?
Probably. Oh, they were playing poker. I think they were playing poker together. Yeah.
You
I remember
count
that one.
cards.
Okay, here's one. A species that enslaves other beings is hardly superior, mentally or otherwise.
I want to say Star Trek, just because I know in a lot of episodes they would come across like a new alien race, or even like Q, and they would discuss, like, because he thought he was so superior because he was ascended, being. I feel like that come from Star Trek.
It was. That was actually Captain Kirk, though, a little bit older than that. So, yeah. Fear is the true enemy, the only enemy.
That's
Star Wars.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Wrong.
Ah!
What?
Wrong. That was William T. Riker.
Oh.
Yes.
See, Yoda talks a lot about fear, but I mean,
Yes.
that's not like a...
He would have
he
phrased
would
it
have phrased
differently,
it
though.
differently, but they talk a lot about fear when they talk about the Force and learning and stuff like that.
Hang on, let me look. I'm looking for some good ones.
Right. I automatically think of Star Wars because they're talking in Star Wars. A lot of it is overcoming yourself.
Your inner, yeah,
Yeah.
it is
And,
totally.
Having that.
Because
Zen
that was the
mind
problem
and-
with Anakin, is that he was too fearful, and that's how he became Vader.
Okay, here we go. Here's another one. Many of the truths that we cling to depend on our viewpoint.
Star Trek.
Golly, I'm just gonna say Star Wars.
It was Star Wars. That was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
I'm bad at this game.
Oh, here's a good one. The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
Star Wars.
Star Trek.
Star Wars. Qui-Gon Jinn.
I
in The
remember.
Phantom Menace.
Yes, I remember that quote. That's one I remember.
Oh, here's a good one. The prejudices people feel about each other disappear when they get to know each other.
Star Trek.
Star Wars.
Star Trek. Captain Kirk.
I'm just guessing at this point. Like, who could I imagine saying that?
These
I'm not
are-
good at quotes. I don't
I picked some hard
remember
ones.
words in movies.
Okay, here's another one. Things are only impossible until they are not.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
That sounds like a Yoda thing, doesn't it?
Right.
Almost, but it wasn't. That was Jean-Luc Picard.
of course.
Of course.
I don't even know like what I'm writing these check marks down for anymore.
Are you writing them down? You're not
I
keeping
got
points?
most of them wrong.
Oops, there was
I'm
my
not a
language.
fan either. Oh,
Okay. Ooh, I liked this one. Without followers, evil cannot spread.
Star Wars. Oh, no.
Star Trek.
That sounds like something they were talking about after they left on season 1 when they saw that terrible black thing. Oh God, what is it called? I can never remember the tar thing that killed Tasha Yar. Did I say her name right?
Yeah.
God, what is his name? It's like the despicable thing or whatever.
I have no
I can't
idea.
remember. Obviously,
Oh
yeah. That was actually Spock.
Oh, okay.
Yay, I got it right.
Your focus determines your reality.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah, that was Qui-Gon Jinn. I've got so many here. I want to give them all. I really do. There's so many great ones.
May the Force be with you.
That one is a dead giveaway. I pulled all the really dead giveaway ones out of there. So,
I was just waiting for you to say that too.
Okay. In critical moments, men sometimes see exactly what they wish to see.
Star Trek.
Yeah,
That was Spock.
sounds Spocky.
And I don't think I give this one yet. If we're going to be damned, let's be damned for what we really are.
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Yes. Last one. If we resist, we die. If we don't resist, we die.
Star Trek.
Star Wars.
Star Trek. That was William T. Riker. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to put some more of these.
Talking about fighting the Borg. It has to be.
I don't know. I can't remember. I'm going to put some more of these questions up on the blog later, and we could talk some more about some of those. But I hope you had fun. Did you obviously lost count? Did you lose count too?
I didn't really count the ones that I got right. I just
I was
put
counting
check
what I
marks,
was
Star
guessing.
Wars, and that's what I was checking. Yeah, so
Oh, you forgot. Yeah.
I want to say
wasn't
that
giving myself-
maybe I got more right than Kristen, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I got
Y'all were
like
pretty
4
back
right,
and forth.
probably, for sure.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys had fun with this. Before we go, we need to thank our sponsors and helpers. That is Red Door Studios and Creative Audio Tech. Thanks for the equipment and the audio help and our great music. If you like it, check them out. We have their link on the website, and maybe they could do some great work for you and your business as well. We're going to have a guest speaker next week, and we're going to talk all about mental illness, and we're really looking forward to their insight. We hope you'll join us. And before I forget, have a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, past, present, and future. Let's honor them all. Y'all have a happy Star Wars Day, and may the 4th be with you.
Yes, may the 4th be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Make it so.